Alright, so this is the review video for quadrilaterals. You hopefully have made a copy of this worksheet off of Schoology, and this is the one that was also in the back of the classroom. Okay, so let's go to it. So you may have to identify quadrilaterals based on the marking. So if I look at this quadrilateral number 1, it has 4 right angles and opposite sides are equal. That makes it a rectangle. Number 2, all you have marked is that it has 4 congruent sides. That makes it a rhombus. Number 3, 4 congruent sides and 4 90-degree angles. Makes it a square. And in number 4, you have just parallel, opposite sides are parallel. So that's a parallelogram. Number 5, you have 2 pairs of congruent sides, but they're next to each other, so that is a kite. Number 6 is only 1 pair of parallel sides, that makes it a trapezoid. 7 has nothing marked, so it's just a quadrilateral. And 8 has 4 right angles and 2 sets of congruent sides, makes that a rectangle as well. All right. Okay, number 9. So ABCD is a rectangle, given that A to D is 13, and ADE, so that's this angle right here, is 30. Now it told you to leave our answers in simple radical form. I'm going to cross that out, because generally you're not going to have that for a rectangle. You're just going to have it, you can just use some trig. Okay, so let's talk about our angles first. So the angle they gave me was 30, and remember that each of the big angles of a rectangle is 90, so that makes this one 60. Also, the triangles here are all congruent. So if that angle is 60, then this angle down here is also 60. Okay, because not only, well, I should say, sorry, it's an isosceles triangle. An isosceles triangle has base angles equal. So this one's 30, then this one's 30. Okay, and then this one would be 60, and so forth all the way around. In the middle, this one's 30 and this one's 30. That makes that 60, and that makes the other one that's left over 120. So we can find our angles now. So angle D, AE, and that one is 30. Angle AED is 120. DCB, so that's this big one here. Well, that's 90. CED is this one here. And so so we could do triangle sum and we'd get 60 degrees. AEB is this one. Well, we just did that this one is 60, which means the other one is also 60. ECB, that is that one, and that would be 30, because those two angles there add up to be 90 degrees. All right. Now, we're going to find the sides. So I'm going to erase this stuff here. To find the sides, we're going to need to use some trig. And I know that this angle right here is 30. So I'm going to use this triangle right here, and I'm going to just draw it right here, off to the side. This is 13, this is 90, and this is 30. Okay, now I'm going to use my trig to find x and y. So opposite of the 30 is x, and next to the 30 is the 13, so that makes it tangent of 30 equals x over 13. So 13 times the tangent of 30 is equal to x. Use my calculator. 13 tan of 30, and I get 7.5 0.05. All right. All right. Now to find y, and I got to find room down here. I'll do it down here because there'll be less room for the other one. Y is the hypotenuse. We know 13, that's adjacent, so the cosine of 30 equals 13 over y. Cross multiply, we get y times the cosine of 30 equals 13. So y is equal to 13 divided by the cosine of 30. So 13 divided by cosine of 30 equals 15.0111. Okay, that's going to give us our diagonal. And sometimes we have to, for our diagonal, depending on the measurement, we have to divide that by 2. So I'm just going to do that right now. And that gives me the 7.5. Okay, so I can now push my calculator away. So A to C is a diagonal. Well, I know the whole diagonal is the 15, so I'm going to put 15.0111. B to E is half a diagonal. Well, that was the 7.5055. And D to C is this side, which is the same as the opposite side. You still need to know all of the properties, so don't forget those properties. You got plenty of time to start memorizing them. Put them on flashcards. Practice. All right. Parallelogram. Parallelogram, the sides are easy part, the side lengths. The angles are the harder part. So we're going to do the side lengths first. So in our parallelogram, they told me that A to C, so that's this diagonal, is 10. So that makes each one of them 5. B to D, that's the other diagonal, is 22, so this one's 11. Diagonals are bisecting each other, so they're cut in half. B to E, or AB, is 10.5, and B to C is 13.5. So we have enough now to fill in all the side lengths. So D to C is right here. Opposite sides are congruent. B to E, I have on there is 11. E to C is 5. And that's it for our side lengths. Yeah, see, they're real fast. They're not very difficult. All right. Okay. I'm going to see if I can't go a little bit easier. There we go. The angles are going to take us a little bit more. So the angles they've given us are that AEB is 109. ADC, that's this big angle, is 49. And ABE is 28. In a parallelogram, you're going to be using all of our angle properties. We are going to use triangle sum, we're going to use alternate interior, we're going to use supplementary, vertical angles, all of them. All right? So if this angle here is 28, then this angle here is also 28 because it's alternate interior. Since I know that the whole angle is 49, I can find this one by taking 49 minus the 28, and it gives me 21. Okay, so this one is 21. Now, so if this angle here is in the middle is 109, that means this angle is also 109. This line right here is a straight line, so it's 180. So if I take 180 minus the 109, it gives me 81 or 71, sorry. So that's 71 and that's 71. Now I can use triangle sum to find the remaining angles. Okay, so for this one right here, I have 28 and 109, so I'm going to go 180 minus 28 minus 109, and I get 43. Okay. For this angle right here, do the same thing. I'm going to go 180 minus 71 minus 21. And that one's 88. Okay. All right. That's all I need to be able, because I have alternate interior angles, so we can do all the rest. All right. So BAC. BAC. That one's 43. ACD. That is this angle right here. So I don't have it marked in there, so I'm going to look at the alternate interior one, and that one is also 43. BEC. BEC is that one, and that is 71. And BAD. BAD is the big one. So I'm going to add those two angles together. So this one's going to be the 43 plus the 88. And that's 131. Okay. All right, that's the parallelogram. Let's move on to the rhombus. Generally, the rhombus and the square don't require as much work. And they're generally going to be in simple radical form, which means they are special triangles. So you need to remember your special triangles. All right, so let's put this in. So A to B is 32. And angle ABE, this angle here, is 60. The thing about a rhombus, guys, please remember that all of these little triangles, this triangle here, and this triangle here, this triangle here, and this triangle here, they're all congruent. So you find the measurements for one, and all you have to do is reflect it around to find everything else. All right, so I'm going to erase that. So I'm going to draw one triangle. And I'm going to draw a triangle ABE. And I'm going to use that as my reference. So AEB, this angle E is 90 degrees. This angle, or this side, is 20, or 32, I'm sorry. And this is 60. So our pattern for special triangles, if you remember, is this is 60, this is 30, this is A, 2A, A root 3. Match up the sides. Well, the 2A and the 32 match, so I'm going to divide them. So A equals 16. Well, A is between the 60 and the 90. Use your pattern. Use the angles of your pattern to match. Between the 60 and 90 is BE, so that is going to be 16. The other side, between the 30 and the 90, is A root 3, which leaves this one to be 16 root 3. Okay? So that's going to give us all our side lengths. So this side is 16, this is 32, and this is 16 root 3. So let's do our side lengths first. A to D is a side. That's going to be 32. C to D is a side, so that's 32. A to C is the diagonal. So it means I'm going to add those two together. So 16 and root 3 and 16 root 3 is 32 root 3. B to E is 16. And B to D is 16 and 16, which is 32. All right, now let's look at our angles. BCE. BCE is that angle right there. So if we look at this right here, reflected over, that's the top of the triangle, and that's going to be 30 degrees. Hold on. Let me draw this a little bit better. All right. So this is 30 degrees. This is 60. This is 60. I'm going this, and I'm just doing that reflection. All right. So this is 30 degrees. BCD is the big angle here. Well, that's 30 and 30, which is 60. And BAED, that's the one in the middle, and that is 90. All right. So that's the rhombus. Squares are even easier, guys. Square, you only have to look at a half of a square. you look at the big one. So I'm going to draw that over here. All the angles of a square are either 45 or they're 90. So the little angles all the way around are 45. The big angles around the outside are 90, and the ones all in the middle are also 90. I know that A to D is 12, so that makes this side 12. Our pattern for special triangles, remember there's 45 and 45, is A root 2. So if 12 matches up to A, that means this side is 12, this side is 12 root 2. Now we can fill everything in. So D to C is a side length, that is 12. B to C, another side length, that is 12. D to E is half of the 12 root 2. Well, half of 12 is 6 root 2. Remember the... Hold on, let me rewrite that for you guys. I'm going to show you what I'm doing. 12 root 2 divided by 2. These reduce, and that gives you 6 root 2. D to B is the whole length. That's 12 root 2. AEB, that's the angle inside. That's a big angle. That's 90. BAE, that's a little angle. That's 45. Oh, I forgot. So this one was 6 root 2. All right. That's quadrilaterals. If you have questions, please let me know. There are the worksheets that are in the folder. 2 of them, you guys have done them before, but they're really good for practice because there's lots of examples. So redo them again. The more you do them, the better